Almost Scorpio full moon. This is the time when I probably become the most powerful. I'm a Scorpio moon, if you didn't know. I have been feeling a lot. I rarely come into our sessions, whatever you want to call these little appointments, meetings, hangouts we have. Um, yeah, I almost never, ever, ever come to them with notes, but I have lots of notes for us today. And I have about I have a lot of cards in my car, honestly. But yeah, I have a lot that I want to talk about. And I actually intended to film this video yesterday. And then my vibration got thrown the fuck off. But I think, like, this is actually, like, a part of just in general, like, I think people are just gonna find themselves being triggered. And then it's just like an invitation to rise up and be your best self. So, like, I will tell you what triggered me, just as, like, as a reminder. Like, I'm not a saint, I'm just a blogger. I'm just a girl, like, I'm human too. And, like, honestly, when I had a reaction to someone's poor treatment, I almost made that their problem. Like, I almost took that out on them, and all day today I've been resisting the urge to take that out on them. And instead I'm just letting it sit with me, and I'm just like, okay, like, whatever. Like, I just have to learn to let these things, like, roll off my back. And it's not the first time something like this has happened. Obviously, as you can tell, I've gotten quite a bit of sun. I've walked, today is day 15 of me walking either 10,000 steps or 10 kilometers a day. Today I'm not done today's yet, but today, once I'm done, I will be at day 15. I think I'm at like 5,000 steps or whatever. Anyways, so yesterday morning, my cousin and I went for a walk down by the river. It was fucking 30 degrees out. We did like 7,000 steps, so I got a little bit red, you know what I mean? But, like, I feel good about myself. Like, my body looks really good. Like, I'm tanned, I'm out, I'm moving, like, I'm living life, I'm contributing, like, I'm feeling good. Anyways, so yesterday evening, sitting on the back deck, I'm like, I would love a yummy little treat right now. I'm gonna walk to Dollar Tree, which is like right down the road from me. So walk there, whatever. And there's these two women that there's a very fucked up cast of characters that work at this Dollar Tree. It makes me never want to go back there because you never know what they're gonna say to you. But so neither of these women are, and I don't want to come across as a hateful person. I am just stating facts, okay? Neither of these women are like people who really, like, take care of themselves by any means. Spiritually, mentally, physically. So they're just like, they're NPC beings. So anyways, I'm going to pay. I have my little ginger ale, my bag of chips, whatever. And then so the lady, there's two of them standing there, and then one of them starts, like, talking to me, whatever. And she's like, well, one girl was really nice. She's like, hey, like, how are you? Whatever. And then the other girl was like, oh, you got some sun. And then I tell them, I was like, yeah, actually, like, I've been out walking 10,000 steps a day. Like, I'm psychic. I started channeling, like, Terry Fox. And so, first of all, as soon as I say this, she starts talking to me like, oh, are you? Like, just, like, I don't know, just very, like, weird. And then she's like, well, I think Terry Fox used sunscreen. And she started, like, laughing to herself because she thought she was so fucking funny. I'm looking at her like she's stupid, and then I'm like, yeah, well, I'm a redhead, so we burn pretty easy. And then I think she got the hint that, like, I was not impressed by her behavior, and then she started trying to kiss my ass, being like, good for you, like, keep getting your steps in and all this stuff. And I was just like, yeah, like, you have a great weekend, but, like, on the inside, I was resisting the urge to say, literally, I was like, my sunburn will fade, but you will always have that face. And all day today, I wanted to walk my little fat butt back over to Dollar Tree and say that to her. But I didn't, because it's not my problem, because I know, like, in my heart of hearts, I'm like, she was only rude to me. She was only trying to make me feel small because she doesn't feel very good about herself. And that just is the problem with the world. Like, I wish more people felt good about themselves so that they wouldn't, like, be intimidated by people like me who do feel good about themselves, who are doing the work. Like, you seeing me doing the work, that is not I've been making videos about this nonstop. This is not a threat to you. This is an invitation for you to, like, acknowledge, oh, I want to be more like her because she seems to feel really good about herself and she's confident and she makes other people feel good about themselves. But that woman triggered the fuck out of me. And it took everything in me not to make it another person's problem. But again, I didn't. That is my burden to bear. And even, I could tell you a million stories of, like, little things here and there that have, like, triggered me or whatever. But it's like, I don't want to waste this time, like, complaining. Like, again, I want to give you guys, like, tools to help you navigate this full moon. And and also to help you come like build a new earth with me. Like I spent a lot of time with my little cousin, and it's been really helpful for me to like talk through things with her. I actually like I sent her a screenshot of my notes. I was like, do you have anything to add to this list? Like, what do you think? Because you like, if I get a vision, typically it's like I'll talk it through with her kind of first, or like I love just listening to her. Like we'll go for like long ass walks or just like sit around and just like talk about the most random things, but we get so much like insight out of it, which I love to see. So before I even get into pulling any tarot cards, first I want to talk about like some of the distortions that I think we're unraveling. So like in my last video I talked about like entities being like hooked into you or whatever, right? And this is like a distortion that I'm realizing, right? And so I know that what I'm saying, not everyone is going to understand. And if you don't understand, that's okay. But like, don't let it make you afraid. Just let it make you curious, you know? And like, if you have questions about what I'm talking about, you can ask me. Or if you want like links to people that like I watch on YouTube or whatever, so that like if maybe you don't resonate with what I'm saying, but it's like you're curious about the subject matter, like I'm happy to refer you to other places. I just think that like this information is really important. And it's like you can ignore it, but it is the truth. So like if you are informed and you are accountable for what you are responsible for, then like this whole process of building a new earth is going to be a lot easier. So distortions that are being unraveled. So this is just kind of like, first of all, like I myself am Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, Aquarius Mercury. I have like probably 5 Aquarius placements and like 3 Scorpio. So like I'm just, and passion and truth, okay, is what we are all about. So it's just like maybe as these things, like as they're shown to you, you might become passionate about like, oh my god, like I really need to like clear my life of these distortions. And maybe like they won't resonate with you at all, or maybe it's like you won't want to hear what I'm saying, and then that will like make you afraid, and then you'll run even further into them. And then it's like sometimes you just have to like put your hand on the stove and get burned again. But eventually it's like on a certain wave, like when the energy is right for it, like you ultimately like will be turned around, and like you will start walking towards this path of like what we're doing now. Because so along with being like a Scorpio full moon, Scorpio is just like transformation, like death and rebirth. Full moons are a time of like releasing what no longer is, so that you can make room for like what's coming in. So we have Pluto going retrograde from now until October. So that's just going to be like an opportunity for everyone to kind of look around like on a personal level, on like a global level, on a community level, and just like ask yourself, like, are the people I'm surrounding with, like the activities I'm like partaking in, like, is this really me? Is this what I like could see myself doing for like, you know, the next few years? And I feel like it's going to make a positive difference in my life, in my community, in the world at large, you know, like really a time to reflect on those things. So I think that if you're using the energy consciously, this is an invitation to let go of what no longer resonates. Actually, I sent King Henry a quote the other day. I sent him a cute little picture of Bambi that I saw on my walk. I've been seeing lots of little baby deer out lately. And I said to him, the courage it takes to leave behind what's not for you anymore is the same courage that will help you find your way to what is. And then I also sent him this picture. So you have to follow the light, whatever the light is for you. But at the end of the day, it is like, even if you're not a religious person, generally speaking, it's like hope and faith. And so if you are, again, not a religious person, or like you don't resonate with like the concept of God, whatever, find positive, inspiring role models, people like Terry Fox. You know what I mean? Like I've been on his wave for so long and telling everyone about him because his message was hope, giving people hope. That's what we need. That is what I told King Henry. Like, you guys don't even know what has been happening there. There is tea, but I'm not going to spill it until the saga completes itself, so I have a complete story to tell. But I told him, like, I'm like, I am Princess Leia and you are my Obi-Wan. Let's go build an empire. Jaw will provide the bread. Because what is Star Wars all about? Hope. Rebellions are built on hope. I think that's a Star Wars quote. So just stop looking for evidence of like the fact that the world sucks and that like things are shitty, because that is true. But like if you keep looking for evidence of that, then we're just going to keep repeating that. But if you start looking for evidence of like the world is a beautiful place and I am happy to be alive, you're going to find more of that, and then you will be happy to be alive a lot more often than you are right now. Okay, now we're going to get into the distortions of and old earth. So, first on my list is taking the easy way out. And so examples I have here are BBLs, Ozempic, steroids, but also like using filters on your photos. I do not filter my photos. I have not for some time, but like there was a point in time a few years ago, like when like the Snapchat era was really big, when it was like I didn't even want to see my face if it didn't have a filter on it. And now I do not want to see my face if it has a filter on it, you know? So, love the skin that you're in, okay? So kind of what I said about this is that people who don't want to do the inner work think that maybe a quick external fix will solve all of their problems. Botched body equals botched mind. Just gonna leave that there. This is like the attack of the clones I've been talking about, because we have created like a subsect of people who all look the same, and they look the same a lot of the time because they think that if they look a certain way, they don't have to do the internal work and they can just go about like being an unhealed person. And it's like, just because you're really beautiful doesn't excuse you from living out your purpose, you know? Like, it doesn't work that way. And on that same note, women completely altering their bodies using filler or plastic surgery before their frontal lobes are even developed. If I was president, that would be illegal. You would have to have a fully developed frontal lobe, because kind of like, again, this is just like something that was shown to me in a vision. I have no concrete proof of this, but this is just like a gut feeling that I have that I'm going to sit with and see if anything else kind of unravels here. So, let's say a woman is like 19 years old and she suddenly like comes into a lot of money, like somehow like through social media, whatever, and she decides the first thing she wants to do with that money is go and get like a boob job. Mind you, I was thinking about this when I was 19 years old. Didn't do it. Very grateful I didn't do it. But I'm just curious if like, what if like a fragment of you like stops developing at that point, or it's like, you know, like you're consciously stuck in like that age when you decided to like alter your body in that way. I don't know. I have very weird feelings about like plastic surgery, filler, all of that. And I think that part of that is what keeps you stuck in the realm of hungry ghosts, because if you're trying to fix your internal problems with external solutions, what is it that Sopranos quote I'm hearing right now? There's no chemical solution to a spiritual problem. What are butt shots if not chemicals? Think about that. So kind of what I said, you know, like to go along with the lines of like Attack of the Clones, I'm like, if I had gotten done like the things I wanted done at 19, I never would have gotten to become who I am at 26, and who I am at 26 is who the world needs more than ever. So be you, love you, that is your assignment, to love the skin that you're in, right? So I am very grateful that like I didn't go like, I literally, the only thing I would ever want to alter, I have these forehead wrinkles because I do be squinting and like I do be raising my eyebrows, but like, you know, I have nothing. I got my eyebrows tattooed like years ago, but like now you can't even tell that they were done. Like I just fill them in. But anyways, like what I'm telling you is like I am natural and I'm very beautiful. And because I allowed my body the grace and space to move through what it had to move through, like yeah, I like gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, like my body changed and I've changed with it. And there's so much beauty in that, right? And I feel so at home in myself now. Like, just if it is really important to you that, like, you undergo some sort of cosmetic surgery, like, really just, like, make sure you understand why you're doing it, first of all. And, like, if you can, please, I promise you, hold off until your frontal lobe is fully developed. And then if you're, like, 26, let's say you're 26 and it's still really important to you, like, okay, I think having a boob job or getting butt shots will change my life. My mom came to me the other day. I think she's like, well, she's really insecure because, I mean, I got a fat little butt or whatever, and she just does not. And, you know, we were just dancing, having fun, and I think she was, like, comparing her body to mine and stuff, and she said to me, I think I'm gonna get butt implants. I think she was being serious about it, too. I was like, girl, like, you don't need those. Like, just do some squats, like, work out with me if you want, you know what I mean? But it's like, the problem is not your butt, the problem is your head. I think in Sex and the City they said the problem is not your thighs, the problem is your head. But like, apply it to any body part. The message is the same. Okay, this is another one that I've been noticing a lot of lately on Tumblr. Scams. So again, so my mom, she used to work at like a bank, being like a bank teller. Now she works at like the wealth department, so like works less with like people's day to day. But when she was like a bank teller, she was constantly telling me stories about like old people being taken advantage of, like, and it's like as tellers, like they would warn these people, being like, hey, just so you know, like you're getting like fraud alerts on your account, like this, that, whatever. And a lot of the time, like these old people would like ignore them, and then they would come back a few weeks later and they would like have no money, and the bank would be like, well, we warned you, so we can't really get your money back. But what I am noticing now is young people are being targeted like more than ever. So last summer I got really into this series. It's called Trafficked, and it's like a National Geographic series, and one of the episodes was talking about scamming, and they like interviewed like different people, like I think most of them were in Jamaica, who were like involved in scamming and whatever, and a lot of them were saying that like the old people that they targeted were just like super lonely and stuff, you know, and like you would just get them on the phone and like talking about whatever, and then they would get like all excited that they won some big prize. But how it is coming about now is like the Gaza scam bots. Oh, like I'm not on other social media, so I don't know if they're on there, but on Tumblr, like at least once a day I'm getting like anonymous asks in my inbox. Or like the other day, this account, Ahmed X6 Gaza 5, they blowing up my line asking for donations. But it's so funny to me, they say, enough ignoring my friend, my campaign hasn't received much support so far, crying emoji. Maybe because it's new, or because I don't know how to ask the right people for donations for my family, crying emoji. Please try to support my family, even with just $5. Little by little means a lot. Every single dollar makes a big difference for us. Please make us happy, even with a little. Don't ignore me, please. And so kind of like what I'm seeing is like young people are quite lonely, you know, like a lot of them, like they're so in the phone because they have a hard time maybe connecting with people who are like in the community that is around them, that they've been placed in. Like I was like this when I was younger, right? And I was always just like, oh my God, like my people are out there in the world, like I'm like glued to my phone. And so if you are lonely in the community around you, then it's like if you have dollars to spare, you might not be as willing to give them to the community around you, and instead you're giving them to the Gaza scam bots. So as I'm getting all these notifications, what I'm thinking about is a few years ago, like with Black Lives Matter. Is this not just a repeat of that? Like, sure, yes, that of course that was an important movement, but I think they raised like $9 million and then they got outed for fraud. So I feel like in a few years there's going to be documentaries about stuff like this, because people are being manipulated, like their kindness is being manipulated. Like I'm not saying keep your pentacles to yourself or be greedy with your money by any means, but like I try to make a difference in my community, because then I can actually see the difference that I'm making, you know what I mean? Like if I see a homeless person and I'm at the store, like I'm gonna buy them a bottle of water, I'm gonna buy them snacks, I'm gonna give kids like extra money at lemonade stands, like if someone is fundraising for something, you know, because it's like that is the difference I can make. And I'm not saying that like every like global organization or whatever is bad, but it's just like if someone is reaching out to you in your DMs on Tumblr, I just feel like your money could be like better served in the community, or like that's just something to consider. So scams, definitely look out for those. Be aware. Do what's best for you, but again, just like use your brain. Use some discernment. Politics. I think I'm gonna have to make a whole separate video about this because I have a lot to say. But all the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. I posted a really good Bob Dylan quote on my Tumblr the other day, and he said something like, politics have nothing to do with morality. And that is a big issue right now. Like some people will see like you're on one end of the political, mind you, I don't vote. I'm not on the political spectrum at all. I live in a castle on a cloud. I don't think the sovereign can vote. I am the sovereign, okay? Can't vote. Can't express an opinion. I'm just the neutral observer. But so what we really need to do is, instead of being like, okay, I am a Democrat, so that to me means that anyone who voted Republican, I always get the fucking American and Canadian ones mixed up in my head, but just like don't think that people are not, humans are not your enemy, okay? Like we need to see each other as like less evil and like less like, oh my God, you voted for this person, so like you're the reason why my life is fucked up. Like that is you like putting your burdens on other people's shoulders, right? So just kind of in short, what I've written here, and I think I talked about this in my last video too, is I said we need to stop scapegoating governments, and at the same time, like, we need to stop allowing governments to act as though they can fix everything, because they can't. Like, that's just not the truth. So stop believing that, first of all. And so we need to organize things, again, on a community level. So get together and feel all right. And while you're talking with your neighbors, then you figure out how you can help each other and what role you can serve in each other's lives, and like how we can grow and build something beautiful, instead of just being miserable because the government isn't doing it. Like, what can we do? If they can't do it, why not us? If not us, then who? If not now, then when? Like, everyone just wants to, like, sit on their butt and, like, watch football, or, like, Netflix or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? It's like, well, what can you do? Because you can do something, so, like, take your power back. And just remember that you are the master of your fate, captain of your soul, no matter who is leading your country, unless you're in, like, North Korea or some shit. But, like, if you are here, if you are blessed enough to be in a free country, I know, yes, sure, maybe it doesn't really feel free right now. Make yourself feel free, okay? Do what you can to feel free within the parameters that they are creating for you. And then before you know it, we'll be living in a totally different world. Okay, the Gooner's disease, hypersexualization. And this one, again, I fully, like, this is probably the one that I have struggled the most to, like, get those hooks out of me, out of my sacral chakra. But my little cousin, she texted me the other day, she's like, you know, I think you've rewired my brain, because I was watching a show with my friend the other day, like, and it was, like, geared more towards, like, a male audience, and they kept showing shots of, like, the female characters, like, butts or whatever, and she's like, I kept thinking, like, Gooner's disease. I was like, yes! Like, I want to frame this and freaking hang it in my room. Like, I'm like a proud mother right now, because the more people become aware of stuff like this, like, I know it sounds silly, but it is really true. Like, be woke. Be woke. Realize they are trying to distract you into giving your life force energy away. But if you keep it to yourself, do you know how powerful you become? I'm almost scared, because I know it's coming to a point where it's like, I'm not going to be celibate forever, but I'm like, how will my life change when I integrate that back into me? But I think it'll be a lot different, because, like, my plan is to only, like, sleep with the person that I want to be with for the rest of my life, you know? So then it's like, I'm going to have a chance to build something really beautiful there, and, like, use my life force energy in a different way. Whereas, like, for the majority of, like, my youth, I was just squandering that shit, like, just giving it away freely, and, like, never really, like, learning to work with it in, like, a channeled and powerful way. Okay, so a reminder, hypersexualization, like the way that, like, when you're scrolling through the internet and everyone looks like a perfume bottle and whatever, and everything is so sexy and whatever, like, that is siren performance art, okay? In, I think, Pirates of the Caribbean, they have sirens, and watch what they do to pirates. They lure those fuckers in and they try to kill them. Not the exact same thing is happening to you, okay? So it's just kind of like, I do have empathy for it, because I can see how, like, you know, as humans, like, never in the history of the planet have we been able to access so much explicit material for free without leaving the house. Like, even, like, back in the day, it wasn't like they could just go look up, like, porn on the internet. Like, you had to be brave enough to go into, like, the adult video store and, like, buy that kind of shit or whatever. Or, like, even let's go, like, 100 years back, you had to go to the brothel and risk getting, like, all kinds of STIs and not having any treatment, and maybe your dick would fall off. Like, you know, it just, like, it's very easily accessible now. And that, I think, is proof of the power we have as humans. It's like the fact that there are so many distractions. It's like, you really have to, like, recognize, okay, I have to consciously choose to, like, say fuck all this shit and just really focus on, like, what is important, which is not gooning, I can assure you. So I also said, the collective vibration is rapidly dropping as a result, because we are giving so much of our life force away to these fucking entities. And it's sad, like, you become an NPC, like, you lose a lot of, like, your focus, because you're giving your power away to things like that. And I know, because, again, I've experienced this and I've overcome it. So life is much better on the Miss Rachel side, spreading the word of God. I don't know if Miss Rachel is a religious woman, spiritual woman, whatever, but I am the Miss Rachel of adults, I've decided. So that's me. Mass media brainwashing. This is one that I've been wanting to talk about for a while too. So like I used to like listening to the radio or whatever when I was younger, but now I feel like whenever my mom plays the radio, all the songs are about being like blackout drunk and a hater or like depressed because someone broke your heart. And I'm like, that is why the collective is stuck in these patterns. But if you just start listening to music about like empowering, like with empowering messaging, or even just like adding like solfego, I don't know how you say those, but like those little like healing frequencies or whatever into your playlist, like you have to be very conscious of like what you are allowing yourself to absorb, like visually, audibly, physically, all of that. All of that impacts your energetic body and your chakra system, right? And like certain things you're gonna find, like if I'm eating all kinds of junk all the time, then like that's slowing me down. So then maybe you change that pattern and then your energy can move through you a lot more freely, right? And then so you just need to like observe these things and know what is good for you. Living in service to the algorithm. This is something that I have been this feels so Aquarian to me, and I have so much I want to like say about it, but I just I think I need to make a separate video about this, but it's like the use of, say, like chat GPT, or like how now even in like the media, it's like we design articles like, you know, we're telling ourselves like, oh, this is like for human benefit, but I find it's more so like, oh, like the algorithm likes this, so we're gonna do it this way. And it's like, is the algorithm like what the algorithm likes even actually what humans want? Or are we just like, are robots actually controlling us because we're just trying to please them all the time? I was really scared of the movie I, Robot with Will Smith as a child, and I understand why. So I'm going to make a separate video about that because we're already approaching 30 minutes and I still have a few more things on this list. Fear. Fear is the number one distortion. Again, I've started the war on fear, and it's for good reason, actually, because I again, waiting for the saga to play out. But the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Fear does not come from God. If you are afraid, that is not Christ-like energy. So, like, be not afraid. I'm literally going to start selling Be Not Afraid shirts because the people need to know. Again, the people need hope. What are you so afraid of? Almost everyone I talk to is living in fear. And it's like, you, again, are master of your fate, captain of your soul. So if you know that you always have yourself and you know that you have all the tools you need, people don't think that they have all the tools they need because they are trying to go on the wrong mission. If you don't have all the tools you need, again, probably not the right mission for you right now. So it's like, come back to center, recalibrate, and say, what can I do with what I have? Because what you have are the tools that you need. Okay, another one. This has been getting on my last nerve lately. Valuing people based on how attractive they are or how attractive they'll make you look. Because I'm a person, I want to connect with people, I want to have friends, whatever, but it's like people are just, they love to keep it so surface level. Like they'll approach me and they'll be like, oh my god, like you're really beautiful. And it's like, okay, anyone within a 10-kilometer radius with eyes can see I'm really beautiful. That's a fact, but it's like, I don't want to be friends with someone just because they think I'm pretty. I want to be friends with someone if it's like, let's say you watch my YouTube video. Then like tell me what you learned from watching it, or like what's going on in your life. Or even like I have been posting like every single day about like me being out walking or whatever, and like so few people like engage with those posts. But then it's like if I post just like a selfie where it's like I'm looking yummy and whatever, then like people are so quick to like, oh my god, like you look so good. But it's like, why can't you celebrate like the exciting thing I'm doing with my life, or like tell me what you're doing with your life, again, so we can connect and like spread more hope, spread more inspiration, spread more joy. Like people just want to take the easy way out. There's a plane. Okay, and this is the last thing on my list. Making your lack of self-control other people's problems. So I have a whole video about this that I made probably like a month ago. But just a reminder, you cannot serve your purpose if other people are holding you back from greatness by making their problems yours. So set boundaries. Be kind, but be fierce. That comes from a Winston Churchill speech that I'm gonna talk about on here one day. I'm feeling called, first of